Hello, and welcome to Force of Light Entertainment. I am Michelle. We're still coming up with that.
And I am Natalie the Red. And we are
live! She used to make fun of me, guys, for how I would always say that.
I can't not do it.
Yeah, so she keeps making fun of me.
It's a thing.
She does. Well, yes, welcome back. It's been a while since we have done a live stream. And we are excited to be back doing a live stream. This is episode 3 of Force of Light Entertainment Live. And we have a special guest that we'll be bringing out in a minute, Yeticast. But let me say hello to you in the chat. We've got
Hello, Apollo.
Yes. And hello to our good friend Luke.
Hello, Luke. Luke the Lovely.
Yes, from Any World But Ours. And hello to Bob. Bob, nice to see you, buddy.
Bob.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Welcome for joining. And the Science Fictionary Podcast.
Welcome.
Yes, our Red 5 members. We appreciate you guys. So yeah, that is awesome. We are glad to have you guys on this live stream. And we will not wait. Oh, we've got Drunk 3PO. Hey, big time. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for stopping into our chat. Yes, welcome to the rebellion, Drunk 3PO.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we will bring out our guest. This guy, if you have not subscribed to his channel's hysterical, awesome, great content. He loves to roast movies, and it's just so funny.
Good times.
So we're going to bring out Yeticast. Yeti, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, awesome.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, so glad for you to be here. And again, for anyone in the chat, if you have not subscribed to Yeticast, go subscribe to Yeticast because he will crack you up.
You will not be disappointed.
No.
You'll get your laughter for the day.
Yes, his videos are hysterical. So Yeti, I want you to tell everyone in the chat, tell them about yourself, because you have one of these kind of unique YouTube channels that are a lot of fun, and you're kind of like us, kind of more up and coming, really just kind of started. So tell them about yourself.
Well, I originally started off trying to do one of those commentary channels, because I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's easy. All you do is talk into this, into the camera. And then I tried it and I was so bad. It was so much harder than I thought. So I ended up moving towards, scripted content. And I made a couple jokes in old video and people liked it. And I enjoyed the feeling of making them laugh. And it seemed like I was much better at it than trying to do that scripted content. The unscripted, unfiltered, just talking to the camera, which takes so much more skill than anyone actually thinks. If they... Sorry, I lost train of thought.
No,
I'm still drinking my coffee.
We were actually talking about that last night, that sometimes, like, before you get on YouTube, like, you watch people and you think, oh, anybody can do that. Like, it's, but it's like, it kind of, it's harder than it looks, actually.
Yeah, well, they make it look easy because they're so good at it. That's the real skill there. And after I figured out that wasn't quite my thing, went into that scripted stuff, and I haven't looked back. And I just kind of want to make people laugh because it gives me a good feeling knowing that, people had a little bit of break in their day.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Because in our society, we need that. Like, we need laughter. Like, I feel like our society's become so serious, like, all the time. It's like literally the Joker. Why so serious? It's just like everyone's so serious, and I think some of it's even because of kind of the political correctness. Like everyone's like afraid to go anywhere.
It's like comedy is slowly dying.
It is
quickly dying.
Like it really, like even SNL's not that funny anymore. Most of the time.
You guys stop being funny.
Yeah, you guys went woke and stopped being funny. but it's just like, it's good. We need that laughter. Like, it's fine. People don't need to be so easily offended. And just learn to laugh in life. Like, if you don't learn to laugh, like, life's going to be kind of hard, really.
Laughter's my favorite.
Yeah. It relieves all that stress and pressure. And the one thing I've noticed is the people that actually respect you are the ones that will make jokes with you and at you. They're not making fun of you. They're making a joke with you. It's a very different. I don't know. That's how I know when I'm friends with someone, when they start cracking jokes around me. Like, okay, we're cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true. Just like,
and those are the people I want to be around. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't marry somebody that doesn't have a good sense of humor because, like, I need to laugh. Like silliness is such a big part of me, and like I need that in someone else as well.
and I think it's like the sign too of just like, again, I just don't think you're going to live a very good life if you can't learn to laugh and be lighthearted and not take things so serious. And it's even healthy to take serious things and almost sometimes laugh them off.
Sometimes that's how I get through life,
Really?
Like, you either laugh or cry.
That expression really holds true. There's some things in life you're either going to cry or laugh.
Yeah.
Or maybe do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, your videos are, again, we're getting new people in the chat. And hello to Mark Shabby Geek and Justin and Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. Justin is lost. Everyone in the chat. But I mean, you just have to begin to laugh things off. But if you guys have not, definitely check out Yeticast. His videos are hysterical. So I wanted to ask you before we get into kind of the week's kind of news and stuff that come up. I want to ask you, so you do these roasts so first off, how long does it take you to write a script for these roasts? Because that's something I've thought of when I've listened to you and watched your videos is, wow, like that has to take a decent amount of time.
Okay, when I first started off, I was doing it like, one video a week. But as I've been trying to make sure I get better jokes and, almost a higher quality, it started taking longer. The last one I did was Harry Potter. It took me a month to write that thing. And, some of it could be a little bit of writer's block. Like the funny joke wasn't hitting me. And I didn't want to put it out without something I knew was going to make someone laugh.
Yeah.
Or something that makes me laugh. Because if it makes me laugh, then I usually know I'm on the right track.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And I don't know how you would put those out very quickly because, I mean, the Harry Potter one is over 13 minutes. And I mean, so it's a lot of stuff to come up with.
Yeah.
Oh, the editing takes a long time too. That's, 2 days for me going through and trying to find, the right clip, and then dealing with my computer crashing every, couple hours while I'm working on it. The early ones, well, this is why I started to try and put more work and really fine tune the script, is when I watched a couple of my older videos, it just made me cringe a little, like, oh, I don't think this is hitting as close to home as I wanted. And I also think I was holding back a little bit, because you mentioned the whole PC culture thing. I know I was like, oh, I'll get canceled if I say that, but I'm starting to not care because I know people actually want those jokes, saying something that's
hungry for it. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're hateful or in any way if you make the joke. If anything, you're showing respect because you'll make fun of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. It's like we were talking about before we came on. Even with us, I think there's this adjustment when you're on YouTube of almost it's like this period of time of becoming more and more yourself.
You come out, so to say.
Yeah, like kind of being more and more comfortable to push the boundaries a little further of not just trying to just kind of please everyone. So to say.
I think I could probably say many people probably start that way. I know we did, and that's kind of what you're expressing. And then I think, you get to the point you're actually going to grow more once you just like, hey, greatest showman, this is me.
This is me.
And you're either going to like it or you're not. It's okay to have some haters. That makes the world go round. It's fine.
Within a couple minutes of uploading that Harry Potter one, I had a downvote right away. Like they were right in there within 5 minutes. Like they did not like the joke. Like, okay, you know, that's not for you. Cool.
I mean, listen, back even like when we had like 200 subs, we had someone who subscribed, and not only have they subscribed, they've hit the notification bell because
within like 2 minutes of uploading, downvote every video. Like,
I mean, we could do the video of like, we're going to give away $1 million if we had that to give.
No.
They're like, downvote, that stinks. Like, people are interesting, I find.
Yeah, it actually, and then the more that like, or you get negative comments, you know, and it can make you laugh about it. Like there was one on the Gina Carano video. It said, "What corner of hell?"
Okay.
Corner of hell of the internet have I stumbled upon? There's more plastic here than on a Gina Carano action figure, and I was like, I want to high five the guy. Like that was creative.
That was a good joke. That was solid.
I mean, he took some time into that.
So really
dig.
I know.
I like it.
Like, yeah, that one doesn't even that wouldn't offend me going towards words where I'm like, okay, good job. You know, you really dug deep for this one. I'm kind of respect that. It's a lot better than the people just yelling curses at you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It was. We appreciate. I screenshot it to keep it because it's kind of a treasure.
It's a trophy, really.
Oh, you so need that on a plaque behind you. It's just framed on the wall.
You know what we should do? All of us should begin to like keep like the negative comments we get, and one day instead of reading off, you know, the negative Twitter posts that celebrities read off, begin to read off like
all the mean comments,
but like really fun ones.
Yeah, the funny ones. Because some of them they're so funny. It's like I'm not even offended. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, people are interesting. Like even let's see, yesterday or whenever we did that video on will Kathleen Kennedy be fired, which if you actually listen to it, we give a fairly nuanced opinion on it, and we lead you to yes and no kind of answer. But we had someone on Twitter. I think you went to bat for us, and we appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that guy. Oh my god,
we were called literally for posting that alt-right.
Racist,
preening narcissist.
And it was like, for starters, define alt-right. That's just one of these phrases that now gets thrown out like racist or something.
And I think we were like racist sympathizers.
Yeah. Because we asked the question, will Kathleen Kennedy get fired?
I know that was so ridiculous. He jumped on you and anyone that was even just having kind of a regular discussion about it.
I know.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was totally ridiculous.
He did not say anything after my comment. he shut it down.
Final roast. He was like, "Okay, I'm done now." So we very much we appreciate you. Yeah,
we do. Well, I was going to ask too.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yes, thank you, and hello to Josh Anderson. We just sent your Funko Pop that you won.
Yes, just this morning. Yes.
And thank you. Love that video. Yeah, we try to, approach things in a respectful manner, but to voice genuine opinions and how we feel about things. But anyway, Yeti, I wanted to ask you. So since you have all these roasts of like these popular movies,
yep,
I have to ask, do you actually like some of these movies that you roast?
Oh yeah, I do. Half the time it's a movie I really love, and that makes it a little bit easier to roast, because when I really dislike it, then I just I can't put my heart into it. It's difficult to watch because you have to spend so much time with the movie. I probably watched Harry Potter, 15 times going through just to get like, okay, this joke works here. I'm watching it slow and in repeat, and I need to like the thing in order to get through it. The one video, this is where I really realized that I have to enjoy it, is when I did Birds of Prey. And I don't know if you ladies have seen that. So that was one. It was just supposed to be a joke. And, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I've got the most hate from that video because it's not what you're going to expect. It's not my usual thing. But I just couldn't spend the time in Birds of Prey because I hated it so much. Like, it was painful to watch, so I made this video to express all my thoughts on it.
Well, and you're not alone in that. I'm going to go watch your video after this, by the way, on that. I'm interested.
Do you know, I think something too, back to like the lighthearted, kind of the getting lighthearted. I think, your channel, and especially now that some of our viewers know you actually like some of the movies, or probably many of the movies you roast. I think it's healthy for us to be able, if someone is genuinely funny, like to laugh, like even if you liked a movie, but they do a good job roasting it. Like, it's just kind of, again, like, I feel like sometimes we take things too seriously, and I've been guilty of that in the past, because at the end of the day, it's a freaking movie. Like,
yeah.
It just doesn't matter. So I just think it's healthy, like, if you say, if you really love Harry Potter, to be able to laugh about it, if it's funny, if you find it funny, which that's why, like, I don't know if you grew up with, like, of course, I love Star Wars, but I also grew up loving Spaceballs, which, so geniusly played off of Star Wars.
Yeah, they did such a good job with that.
I mean, that type of stuff is it's just fun. It's great.
And I did the same thing with the Lord of the Rings video too, because I love that movie. It's probably one of the best trilogies out there, and I think people would argue that it is the best trilogy. But I absolutely loved it. Like, you know what? I haven't seen anyone do a deep dive roast, so I'm just gonna try. We'll see if people enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. It's fun to do stuff. And again, I'd say with stuff you love, you're going to, again, back to the Spaceballs reference. Like, in no way do I feel like they belittle Star Wars, but they make you laugh throughout it. So it's just back to the thing. I think laughing it's healthy.
Well, and even just like I crack myself up all the time. Like, am I that funny? Probably not. But
listen, no one laughs harder at Natalie than Natalie.
I'm freaking hilarious to myself, and I think you have to learn to not take yourself seriously or take stuff too seriously. And and another thing, I feel like in 2021, it's like, especially like we said on movies, it's okay to have different opinions.
Yeah,
like that's kind of. It's like, it's just really not that deep, as they say.
Yeah,
and,
it's not.
The other thing, I'm sure, are you subscribed to The Critical Drinker?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was one of the inspirations.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he had to be.
Because sometimes it could even be a movie I like, and I will sit there in tears, listening to him roast a movie. So there's very much a space for that. Like, you just need to laugh, So it's like, I love what you do.
Yeah. The one negative thing out of all this is I had to stop watching his stuff because
I was getting ideas.
Yeah, I was getting ideas, and it was almost like his own style was starting to filter into mine, and I didn't want that because I didn't want people to say, "Oh, you're just taking this from him." And it can get in there subconsciously with the joke. I'm spending so much time just writing like, "Oh, this is funny," and then you hit release like, "Oh, that was a little close to what he did." So I had to stop watching these things so that didn't happen to me. It's so unfortunate. Yeah.
Do you know that even before, say, like WandaVision, before we personally review it, I don't really listen to other people's thoughts because I want to have my own thoughts.
Affect your own.
Yeah.
And then I'll go listen to it after, but I don't before. So yeah, I get that. Well, speaking of funny, switching into something that just came out yesterday.
Oh God, I know what you're gonna say.
I wanted to get your thought.
This is
on Star Wars: The High Republic.
Oh, I was right.
That we got.
Well, I will say this: I think we finally found a character that Brie Larson is able to actually portray.
She could, or maybe Yeti, that should just be a piece of wood. Yeah, I think it's called Geode.
Geode.
Oh God.
I mean, but it's literally a rock, and
it's a rock. It's a big rock.
It's a massive rock.
And what I think what was surprising to me is I actually have enjoyed especially some of the very beginning stuff when Disney first took over the canon. And Claudia Gray's been one of the better writers, like has done some good Leia stuff and, did one on Obi-Wan Kenobi that I thought was all right. But I was just so shocked. It's like Claudia Gray, like the best you could come up with was a frickin' rock. Like, what are we doing?
So this is why I think we have to be living in a simulation. And hear me out, because we're talking about this is $1 billion company that have teams and teams and teams of writers.
Yeah, and
these people
that's what they come up with.
They came up with a rock and it got green lit. There was nobody that said, "Hey, this probably isn't a good idea." People are going to make fun of a navigating rock. It's not one that seems to move. It's just a slab of rock that doesn't have a mouth. How is he going to He can't push buttons. Nobody stopped that. Nobody stopped this from going to print.
And I mean, is it a male or a female? Is there going to be a girlfriend? I mean, like, is there a rock species?
Is it gender neutral?
Is it? Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to do with this thing.
And it's not even like a rock with curves. Like, this is a flat rock. I mean, I don't know if they didn't want to sexualize the rock and make it too sexy, so maybe that was why. But yeah, it's it's literally a slab.
Well, and do we know, because I started the first High Republic book like back when it first came out, the very beginning of January, and I couldn't get into it.
I'm laughing just looking at it.
But I mean, so do we know if here's the rock, guys. There's Geo, the rock. Like, do we know, can the rock speak? Like, does it form thoughts? Like, I'm very curious about the rock invention.
Okay, so the one thing I do know is they put out a little blurb, and maybe I can find it on my phone, but it said that no one can pronounce the rock's name if they have a mouth, like that type of thing. But I don't know how it's supposed to speak. Is this a telepathic rock? And how did a rock develop these type of abilities? Is there an organism inside, or like what's going on here? Is it just a big rock, or is the character insane? And they're
is the rock a living thing? Like, because I know the force flows through all everything, but it's like
we're trying to actually give this a chance.
We're really trying to understand what Claudia Gray was thinking with the rock. Okay. We're trying here. I mean, but I don't think it can flow through. I don't think the force can flow through a rock, because that's not. It's not organic. It's not. There's no flesh. There's no. It's just carbon rock. It's hard.
I bet the rock was. Totally.
It probably did.
And we know who he voted for.
Okay. Do you guys did you see the video that they released?
I did. And I really what are they thinking? Like, here's what I have a question of. Like, what age group is this for? I can't figure that one out.
I have no idea. Okay, well, I think it's probably supposed to be, the young adult, that type of thing. But the thing I want to bring up with that video is you see the rock in the, navigational chair or in the cockpit sitting there, and then the next scene in their video, they have it in the hangar standing beside the girl. So who dragged that 1 ton object, maybe it's 5 tons, out of the ship to put it in the middle of the hangar? Because somebody had to move that thing. It doesn't have legs.
She's like, "Oh no, little buddy, you're coming with me. You're coming."
And I guess since it doesn't speak, like, you would need maybe like
But he communicated that he wanted to go.
So I guess like you would almost need like a Jedi like Ahsoka, the way she was able to communicate through the Force with Grogu. Like maybe you need that to communicate with the Rock. I mean, I just don't know.
Right.
That would take a well-trained Jedi to move around too.
That's true.
It's not a small thing.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely would. It's a pretty.
I mean, if you're not a very experienced Jedi, you're going to be like, screw this.
Do you think the Rock like poops pebbles?
100%.
I mean, I'm starting to think that this Rock probably eats food also. So, because I mean, it can navigate through the galaxy. So, we're in uncharted territories with rocks.
Oh God, there's so much wrong with this, and I don't know how it can get greenlit. I don't understand that.
No, and can you imagine like
the pitch meeting? They're like, now that's a go. That is.
That's a good point. What were the other, like, how bad were all the other ideas that The Rock was the best thing they had to go with? That's the one they're like, oh, we're doing this.
They're like, this is the safe option compared to the others.
And someone read through this work, like read through Claudia Gray's book. It was like, yeah, the Rock Navigator sounds good. Like, I mean, really?
Heck yeah, we're going with that.
Guaranteed multiple people read through that.
I know. And they're just like, sure, sounds good.
Yeah.
And I think what is so funny is like this High Republic stuff that, again, like, who is this for? Like, so
you know what? It's a rock that identifies.
Well, it might be the young
man.
adult market, because they seem to be pushing extremely hard towards that. Those books have become, so popular. It's got a big viewership. So I think they've kind of twisted comic books. Like DC is doing the same thing. They're making all their lines go towards young adult, and that's, going to lose the older readers.
Right.
Yeah.
Or readers that want to actually read something a little nuanced and it's not as dumb as a rock. Like,
yeah, right. yeah, literally as dumb as a rock. Yeah, it's just it's interesting because it's like this. What's so funny? I mean, it makes it funnier. Is like they've already ticked off with the Gina Carano situation this large portion of the fan base. And they just happen to have this like right in the pipe coming after her.
They're like,
this is their big follow-up.
They're like, it will fix everything.
Okay, guys, I know you're angry about Gina, but we've got the solution. You're gonna be super excited about this. Meet Geode.
We totally redeemed ourselves with your rock.
I mean,
high fives all around.
I mean, you guys in the chat, do we need a Geo Disney Plus series?
Oh, please, please.
Story group when they came up with the Geo.
I would say pretty high.
I would watch that to roast it. If there is a Geo show, I will watch every single episode for everyone here just to tear it apart.
And I think everyone would like to tear it apart. Right? Because, like, you totally have to just be, like, live in a world where everything has to be happy and good in Star Wars to not admit that the Rock was a pretty bad decision.
They must be living under a rock.
Wait, is his arch nemesis a pickaxe?
And can the pickaxe use the Force?
A Sith pickaxe.
I mean, it's interesting stuff with the Rock. But yeah, kind of. I mean, it's something else over there these days. But well, I was going to ask you. It's quite wild. Well, and just those designs in general have been like so. It's almost like it literally feels kind of like the way they present it. Have you ever been at, what are they called? The things where you guys in the chat will know what I'm talking about. Like where you go and you sit and like they show you the stars.
Yeah. What are those things called?
They have them like in Chicago. Well, we have one around here too, but I forget what they're called. But like you go and you just
think Rebel Without a Cause. If you've seen that, they go to that thing on a field trip or in Los Angeles.
It's an observatory.
But you look up and it shows you like constellations and stuff on the ceiling, or
and
totally blanked out.
Like basically the way that
planetarium. That's right.
Yes, the planetarium. It's kind of like the way they cover like the High Republic videos are. I feel like I'm in one of those, and like to me, like that's not fun. So I don't. Again, that's why I'm confused of what age group, because I don't see young people being attracted to this marketing for it.
Oh no, I don't think. I think they've lost the plot so far that, you know, what they really have gone down the whole wokeness side of things.
Yeah,
pretty deep, and I don't think young people actually want to read that. I think they make fun of it just as much as us.
Right.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think like we even covered that in one of our videos where we are like, people, when we talk about like when we use the word like woke, we mean kind of that social justice warrior that push all these certain things. And we said, I was explaining,
that's offended by everything.
Yes. Yeah. And I said in one of our videos that I believe the desire to not have that shoved down your throat crosses party lines, actually.
Yeah.
I am so with you.
Yeah, like most people in the world just don't care. Like they don't want that shoved down their throats. They just want to be entertained.
They're so out of touch with the everyday person, whether that's a liberal or a conservative, I think.
Or somewhere in between.
All the way in between. I think we could kind of come together on that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before... people appreciate comedy on all sides. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. You can usually appreciate a well-crafted joke that goes for storylines too. Star Wars, it couldn't be this big if it didn't hit those things. But now they've shifted their focus just to this one very narrow section, and they've lost a lot of people.
They have, and they're just going to keep losing more, sadly, if they don't course correct, which thus far it doesn't look like they're doing that. They've gone deeper down that hole. But Justin is lost points out a good thing, or a good point. He says, they actually deleted that video. And what's funny is they're getting lambasted bad.
This did not go over well.
They knew not to put it on Twitter. Yeah. Upload that on YouTube. So they're like, the safe space is Instagram. That's all people are. It will be fine. And they upload it to Instagram, and it was torn to shreds because it's freaking rock.
What reaction did you expect?
I mean, it's something else.
Hey, Luffy.
Yes.
Shout out.
Well, we'll move Lucasfilm. It's something right now. We'll switch to another thing that's a hot topic for people that we did a video on.
Oh, so, I want to say too, real quick. I was watching something. I forget whose channel it was, but they were saying like, in 100 years, like 100 years from now, are they going to look back and be like, there'll be history written about this time of everybody being offended about everything and erasing history. And of course, it's like some things in history are bad. And I think we need to learn from that and move forward. But I mean, you can't just erase it. Like, like movies and stuff from the 50s and stuff that they're now canceling. Like I heard, Alfred Hitchcock, like his films and stuff, like being canceled.
Dr. Seuss.
Oh my God.
Controversial Seuss. I mean, so it's just, we're living in kind of crazy times, especially if you're on Twitter.
Yeah. Dr. Seuss is canceled, but WAP is the song of the year for NPR.
Yep.
In what world does that make sense? I'm telling you, we live in a simulation. This is all proof because it is too insane to be real. It has to be a simulation.
I mean, truly.
This is pretty hysterical. I want to see Gio to be the replacement for Gina on Mando just to see what happens.
Oh my God.
And Mark Shabby Geek says, if rocks have the Force, why did Luke die on one in The Last Jedi? I mean, it's pretty good points, guys. I mean, The Rock, it's just that's I wasn't expecting that. They caught me off guard with that one for sure. Well, speaking of kind of woke and going through things,
Let's get spicy.
We got the announcement that no one wanted last week, and that was another reboot of Superman.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And it's just kind of like, for starters, I don't know how you feel. I mean, Christopher Reeves was definitely Superman, fantastic Superman, but in the modern era, to us, and I think most of the people, Henry Cavill is Superman. Like, you have a specimen that looks just like Superman, and he wants to do a movie so bad, has pitched movies with different directors to them.
He's like, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today.
And people want it, and they're like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're gonna get like an activist who's written hardly anything for movies or comics, and we're going to reboot it with J.J. Abrams. Like that's what we're going to do. It's just like
this is their big solution.
It was just like, are you freaking kidding me yet again? First this, now The Rock. I mean, it's like Warner Brothers, Disney, like they're all insane.
Okay, now are you ladies going to be able to control yourselves when we start talking about Henry Cavill? Because
We'll try. It's getting hot already.
Okay, if you start swooning, I'll drop the subject. but
Okay.
They have the perfect Superman there, especially for right now. I think fans everywhere agrees that he plays an excellent Superman. I haven't heard anyone knock that aspect of him. The only thing I've seen is he's had bad scripts in movies. Like, he hasn't been given a chance to do that real hopeful Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you give him another role, people will flock to it. They want to see Henry Cavill. One, he's fantastic. He just seems like a good human being, and he's eye candy.
Yeah.
Well, and too, they were trying to cancel him because he dated Gina Carano 10 years ago.
I can't. Let's.
Doesn't that just make you respect Gina Carano that much more?
Oh, I know. I'm like,
girl, high five.
High five.
Up in my book.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm like, oh, damn, girl, good job.
Yeah, girl. I mean, yeah, but you're exactly right, and that's what I've said. Like, I actually will say that the more I've watched Man of Steel, the more I've actually enjoyed what Zack Snyder did, even though it was very different. But I've said this multiple times. Like, if Warner's doesn't want Zack Snyder to do another Man of Steel, you can get another director.
Yeah.
You don't have to recast the actor when you have the perfect specimen to play this actor. I mean, this character.
Right.
It's so true. That's the most frustrating thing, especially with Ta-Nehisi Coates. If you've ever read anything he's done, he is extremely divisive. And the books that he did for Black Panther and Captain America were widely criticized for, one, not understanding the characters, but just putting it, inserting things that didn't need to be there. People really lost interest in those things. And if he's going to write that, I can't see this anything but being some sort of lecture. And nobody wants to watch that.
What I mean, literally, if you go through this person's history, like most of what he has done has been activism or political writing, and that just lets you know right off the bat that's where that's going to go. And again, back to what I said, I think the vast majority of people in America, and I'd say in England, I mean in the UK and other places, we don't want that. Like, we want to watch Superman.
We want to be entertained.
We want these like movies should be able to bring people together like Superman, an emblem of hope and being better, like humanity rising up to the task. Like
we don't want to visit a re-education camp when we go to the movie.
No, we don't.
Well, that just makes you hateful then. You know, I'm sorry to say, but if you don't want to be
for that comment.
It's so frustrating. This was the same issue with Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah.
They lectured the people on screen about, you know, being the lady Ghostbusters, and people hate that stuff. Just make a movie that's fun again. I miss fun movies. I miss, you know, going and not having to worry about any outside world politics or political correctness or anything in that realm. I want to be entertained.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
definitely. Yeah, and it's like, you know, I think too, we've been doing like some first watches, and we had never watched Alien or Aliens, and you get Ripley, and as a female, and I think men feel the same way. Like, I just fell in love with this character.
And it was organic, is the way I put it.
It was.
You know, it wasn't forced. It was just, she was, and she wasn't this like physically, you know, amazing, like, you know, it was realistic, but she used her brain and so to outsmart these things. And so, yeah, that's an example of a great female character that it's not being like forced down your throat. Like, I am woman, hear me roar, you know?
Yeah. Literally, Yeti. I know you did a short video on the Corella thing. I literally kind of eye rolled. She literally says in the trailer, I am woman, hear me roar. And I was just kind of like, oh gosh, because it's just like, here's what we're saying, everyone in the chat, and I know Yeti agrees with us. We love strong, good female characters, but a strong, like Ripley didn't have to say, I am woman, hear me roar.
She don't need no man.
Yeah. Like, she just shows you throughout well, we've only watched the first two movies. She just showed you how awesome and how much she can take charge when she needs to, kind of woman she is. Like, let the work speak for itself.
Well, that's what's gone so awry in modern Hollywood, is they've basically taken that full agency away from women in order to, ironically, make them more powerful. But the power doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from overcoming obstacles and learning to be better. Because every single person has a flaw.
Yeah. Yes.
Everyone. Ripley had flaws. She was terrified, but she overcame her own obstacles, her own fear, in order to save the day. And she found ways to work around these limitations. But that is not done. Like Rey, there was, you know, no limitation. She was just like, oh, I can beat people with the lightsaber that have been trained since they're kids. Like, okay, come on, guys. Come on.
and it's like, if I was rewriting Rey, it's like, I like the person of Rey, but I can't argue some of the weaknesses that are there. Like, had they just let her like lose to Kylo, like just fully, she is beat, but had they just let it stop there and then they get divided to stop the fight, like that, and then showed her train in the next one, then I think she would have been embraced by even more people.
Yeah, because you need try-fail cycles.
Yeah,
like, that's something that everyone can relate to. People fail, and but the excitement comes from seeing them how they rebound, get back up, and recover from that failure. That's the story.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I don't know what you think. I think two of the best female characters that have been done in the last 10 years would be, I think, Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. Great. And I think Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, especially she's the same character in the second one. That's just more a movie issue. But in the first one, and I think both of those characters, Katniss is like the reluctant hero that is just kind of thrown into it out of almost survival instincts of protecting her sister.
And she's got a heck of a shot. You know, she's been doing it a long, long time.
Yeah, and she overcomes all that. And then you have Wonder Woman, who, even though she's so super powered like a Superman is, she still in that first movie has to like learn and overcome a lot, even just in her own thinking and truly understanding who she is.
And I like that they don't take her femininity away. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
baby,
Oh, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
That bugs me. That now, in order to be a strong female, you can't actually be feminine. But that's not how it works. Like the strongest women I know, very feminine. But that doesn't take away any of their strength.
Exactly. Well, and I just want to say on a personal note, something I think with women, with minorities, with different, all these different things, it's like I can very much say firsthand as a woman, I do not feel oppressed. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. You heard it here. I love being a woman. It's freaking awesome.
She's gonna start singing the Shania Twain song. Man, I feel like a woman.
I mean, it's great, So it just, this stuff, it's right. It's like they're actually damaging. It's actually damaging to women, I think.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
And the only way they show them making women stronger is by pulling down men, essentially.
Right.
Like, but that's not strength. The strength is coming out and finding a way to get better. Better than your opponent, not bringing them to a lower level just to say you're better.
Exactly.
Like men and women, like we're both great. We both have our own unique things that we offer, and sometimes they cross over, but it's like we need each other. Like, we're both awesome.
Well, and that's where you can even go to, and I think there's actually some, I'm thinking in my mind, there's even some kind of similarities, say, in a Ripley and a Katniss. They literally almost like outlast everyone, say in that first Alien or in the first Hunger Games, and they use their wits just as much as they use anything else, which is very realistic.
Which is one of the biggest strengths any human can have.
Yeah, because it's not just like they overpower with all this strength that no one believes in. Like they literally like they use their wits and they're the smartest in the situation and they make it through.
That's what the original Mulan did, and the remake totally failed. In the original, she had to outthink and find ways around. You see her training, how does she climb the, that training pole? Well, she found a different way around it aside from brute strength, and it turned out to be a lot smarter. And that was her way to beating everyone. But in that remake, she's just already hyper powered. She's got these super chi magic powers, and the entire time she just kicks ass, and the whole thing was her big flaw was not allowing herself to be even more powerful, like from holding herself back. That was her big flaw. Like, come on, that movie really angered me.
I didn't even watch it because
I didn't either. I just wasn't interested.
Before it came out, I knew that they were putting, what's his name, Mushu, the little dragon that Eddie Murphy voiced.
Who was great.
Yeah, like he's all the humor. And they removed him, and then they removed the male like love interest. And I was like, what do you think I want to watch this for? Like, and that's almost funny that in this generic female that they've created, like women, I guess, aren't interested like in a romantic relationship ever.
Because we usually are.
Like, and it's like,
just FYI.
Like, I'm 31 and single. I'm not saying everyone has to get married at a certain time or anything. It's just, but it's not realistic that like all of them don't pursue that ever.
Michelle, it's because men are evil. You forget.
Yeah. Do you know we're all evil?
Especially white men.
The worst.
Like, that's basically the synonym of the devil.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's become original sin now.
It really is. And well, it literally has. The critical race theory and things like that.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. And there's just so much. It's sad that you now have to go back to like older movies to find like good, well-written characters at this point.
Yeah, cohesive storylines that make sense, that they don't just have everyone working without flaws. It's so sad. And I'm a huge fan of movies. I just want something that's, decent, without any of the politics
Yeah.
jumbled in. Just show that, please, please.
I mean, it's just like it's everywhere. Like I've thought of this recently, like
TV, movies, commercials, news. Like it's just, no wonder people kind of get, brainwashed. I don't know how else to say it.
Like, well, and it's just, but the main thing that's funny is
the woke are like zombies, is the way I put it.
The more that they try
they're
to,
the Walking Dead.
They are.
They are.
That's the way I think of them.
But what's funny is like the more they try, Natalie, to push it, the more people are like rejecting it and like, this is stupid. And stop.
Of course, you're going to have those devoted zombies, but I think people are starting to wake up. The more ridiculously they get, the more people are like, whoa, this is a little crazy, and they're starting to see.
Well, here's the thing: the people that are really woke are the ones that are actually on Twitter. When you go into their all their metrics, they make up the majority of this platform, and it's about there's 10% of the Twitter users make 80% of the tweets, so that's their core base.
Yeah,
and of that 10%, the vast majority, I think it's around somebody needs a fact check, but it's around 75 or 80% are in that woke side of things.
Yep. Well, and it's the ones like there's such a few,
and you have to remind yourself of that on there. Like, okay, this isn't reality.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And this is where the second issue comes in. Most marketers are on there listening to Twitter, so they think that represents the general population.
That's the problem. They listen to this small, loud minority, and they do stuff based on these people, on the zombies.
Yeah.
Well, or like, I know this is changing genres to a degree, but in the same thinking here, say like LeBron James. He gets so much praise on Twitter for running his mouth, and then he's literally single-handedly tanking the NBA ratings because the Twitter people that praise him don't watch the NBA.
Yeah.
No, because they don't actually have money in order to watch the NBA or support any of the products.
Well, and it's the same with the Gina Carano situation. This incredibly woke Walking Dead zombies, like they were so offended from the get-go and hashtag cancel Gina Carano, and they listened to that, and I think they're beginning to see that the majority did not care and didn't even know about anything said on Twitter, and we don't like it.
It's like a spirit almost. And I fully believe so many of these people, they don't even know why they're angry about something.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's like other things in their life, but they're like, I'm gonna, channel this here on this on Gina or on whoever, and it's like they don't even know why they're so angry.
Well, probably because they don't have, life is almost too good in North America. Like there's really, I know there's lots of people that have it bad, but the majority in North America have very little struggle, especially when you look back historically. You have running water, hot water, there's sanitation. You don't have to worry about being stacked on one another. You have easy access to food. And so people are trying to find something to fight against. And because of this, because they got no real threat to them, they've gone towards this other nonsense, and that's become their cause, because it's the only way that they can find their own purpose right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's truly like, it's like
that's how they belong. I think,
like it's their religion. Like it truly is. Like, and they follow it, and it's truly insane. I mean, what you get at this point, and they're relentless. Like they're
out for blood is the way.
Yeah, I really hope people start waking up. I think they are.
Yes.
And we can see that in some of these box office numbers. There's been bomb after bomb after bomb in Hollywood. And at some point they have to realize that this crowd doesn't represent regular people, isn't spending money to support them. So just start making normal movies again. That has to happen, because there's no way they have unlimited funds just to keep pushing it.
Well, and that's where I think people, anyone in the that's listening, like we have to realize that right now, the movie industry, entertainment industry, it's very weakened because of COVID-19, because of the COVID situation. So it's come off a year of losing billions upon billions of dollars. Like they actually are kind of at a weaker state, and we just need to continue. Again, we're anti-cancel culture, but I believe in voting with your wallet.
Yeah. Like, and I don't think that counts as cancel culture because you're making a choice. I don't want to support this, but you're not saying no one else can support it if they enjoy it. You know, there's a big difference. If you don't like Gina, you didn't have to watch her. Right. I like Gina, so I want to support her. But if they're going to take her off, well, then I don't want to give money towards that.
Yeah.
But saying it shouldn't exist, no, that's step too far. You know, saying she shouldn't be allowed to work in Hollywood, that is ridiculous. And I really hope she finds some amazing success, and I think she will because, you know, well, one, she's fantastic in action roles. Like she can actually kick ass. She is a legitimate, strong female role model that Disney said they were looking for, and they just kicked her to the curb.
And I just want to point out in that, guys, it shows you all the diversity talk. It's bullcrap.
Means nothing.
They don't care. They don't really care about just having strong women. It's all about, do you believe exactly what we believe, regardless of race, gender, color, sex, whatever.
Kings and queens of hypocrisy.
Like, that's really what it's about. And what you said with Gina, like, I truly do believe that because people are so aggravated and people are waking up, I think there really will be a market for like what she's doing with the Daily Wire, where people just want, like, as I keep saying, we just want to be entertained. Yeah. Like we don't want you to push your agendas down our throat. Just these stories that, and yes, all movies have some kind of thing they're trying to push, but in the, like, say the old Star Wars, it was about hope. It was about rising to the occasion, believing in something more, your friends, your family.
And it wasn't so specific. Like, yes, maybe George Lucas was coming from a new age, but it's like me with a different faith. It's like, I'm looking at it
he made it that way. He wanted it
through your lens of spirituality, and it's not so like specific or knocking anybody down.
Yes. Well, they were really showing the hero's journey. You know, that's the next thing that Hollywood seems to have disdain for, is they are pulling far away from showing that hero's journey. And there's something ingrained in us that the hero's journey resonates with humanity, because you can track this type of story back to when we started telling them. And I don't understand why they want to pull away from these universal truths that cross barriers. It doesn't matter what, you know, religion or race you are. You can resonate with the structure and the human truth in all these old, basically in the old classics. Because I think it's pretty much a classic now. I think I go for literature and movies. There's something that resonates with those human truths.
Exactly.
It touches humanity, you know, and all of us.
And that's what we're saying. Yes. Like, why just try to, well, I know why, but why just try to promote like one thing, like say, which it sounds like this guy probably will do with his reboot of Superman, instead of just touching. Superman has in the past, it touches humanity. I've said this before. Something I love about that, I think DC has amazing, you know, has beaten Marvel in over the course of history, as far as in this regard. Watch, you know, I can hear people in the chat being like, what? But say they have these characters in Superman and Wonder Woman that men, I go to the gym and you see a man with the S on his chest. You see women with the Wonder Woman shirt or whatever. And they literally are symbols of humanity becoming better.
Like doing good in the world.
And you even see that like in the comic genre, they're now, instead of us rising to them, they're making the heroes come down to our level. And that was never the point of a superhero.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be better than us. They're supposed to be what you strive to achieve.
Yes.
You know, they're the pinnacle they are super for that reason, because they were able to rise above and better themselves. But, you know, bettering yourself is somehow offensive now.
It is.
Going to the gym. Oh, no, you just have to accept, you know, how you are. Okay, one thing, loving who you are, that's a great thing. But you
Yeah.
can still try to make yourself better, stronger, healthier, whatever, smarter, reading books, like whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Well, in fact,
we've never arrived, you know, like we can always keep growing and learning. And, you know, I think all of us, that's the case till we're 85 years old.
well, I think, in fact, if you truly love yourself, you will continue to strive and push for more. Like
Yes.
that, you know, that's kind of the point. To like,
Yeah.
you want to keep getting better and striving higher, and as Superman flies higher and higher, like that's kind of the point of these things, and it's being stripped away to push very specific, basically lies in a way, is
Yeah.
what they're trying to feed everyone, and that's why I think people are rejecting it, because we know it's a lie.
Just
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm going to go here, like, you know, like, I'm not a racist,
Yeah,
but you're telling me I am
because
but I'm not.
because it's inherent.
Right. It's crap, you know?
Yeah, it's a big mess. But I am hoping that things like, you know, what Gina's doing, the Daily Wire, surely there will be more and more people, and hopefully there will begin to be corporations that are like, guys, this stuff isn't selling. We need to start going back to things that sell, things that just speak about, you know, to the humanity of all people, whether, you know, whatever, you know, race, sex, you know, whatever they are, like, let's let it speak to everyone.
I was going to say, I think, you know, and not to say it's just her, but I think she was almost like, she's kind of become a poster child, like something new is happening, and kind of like, you know, drunk C-3PO's shirt, welcome to the rebellion. You know, that's very much what it feels like. And I think it is we are stepping into a new thing, and maybe, you know, uncharted territory of like alternative entertainment that's not woke and not, you know, what they're pushing so hard. And I think, you know, sometimes like bad things happen, but beautiful things come out of that, you know? So it's like, I think that could very much be the case with her situation.
I hope that is the case. I think that's going to be a real testing ground on whether or not there's a reversal what's been happening in basically entertainment everywhere. Because I don't want to say Hollywood. I mean all entertainment, books, literature, because they all seem to have that same inherent issue right now. And if her stuff takes off, there might be more that will step up, because nobody wants to put their neck out right now. You know, you hear the internal things at Lucasfilms. People are scared to be seen following a person on Twitter. You don't even have to agree with them. If you just follow it, you automatically have the same opinions as they do. Like, no, there's people I follow I don't agree with, but I still want to see what they do, because there's things that they do I like. You know, it doesn't mean you have to like every single thing.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. It's the idea of guilt by association. Yeah. And it's just, it's ridiculous.
You know, we're all individuals. We all have like different opinions on so many different things. You know, don't put people in a box or label them because they're this, you know, then they're
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. That's right.
Well, and like I literally have thought, you know, about Gina using movie references and truly I do think she started something, as Natalie brought up, drunk 3PO's shirt, welcome to the rebellion. I've been saying she's the new Mockingjay. Like she's
like
truly
a symbol.
Like she's become a symbol of like, we're not going to take all this crap anymore, Hollywood or media, legacy media. Like we're tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get back to like a normal, like when we all could like enjoy things, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, Libertarian Party, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Whether you're in the rock party. I mean, you know,
whether you're a rock, that's a navigator.
We welcome everyone. If you treat us with respect, you're welcome. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we won't keep you any longer. We've so enjoyed this time with you and talking.
This has been great.
This has been I'm very stimulated right now. So
I know I could keep going.
That probably sounds, maybe I shouldn't have used that term, but
that's going to get clipped.
I'll have to put up somewhere.
I'm very stimulated. That's going to be on Twitter in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Yeticast, for the stimulation.
Yeah, it's something. But well, and I guess that you said you could keep going. I thought of this when we were talking. We've gone to a place where we just watched for the very first time at the beginning of January, we watched Lord of the Rings. And at some point, I'll probably make a video on it because since I got interested, I genuinely grew to appreciate it because Lord of the Rings is a classic tale that male and female and everyone can like.
Yeah.
And anyways, in watching that, I was thinking they couldn't make this today. Like all the characters are white.
Right.
And you just they wouldn't be able to do it today, and that's not a thing. It's because it's supposed to be Europe in the Middle Ages, so it made sense for all the characters to be white. Just like when Marvel goes to Wakanda, it makes sense for all the characters to be African.
Yeah, I mean, really,
like it is. Or if I went to Spain and they're all Spaniards, I mean, that just is what it is.
Yeah, and it's not trying to put anybody down
or
exclude anybody.
Well, yeah, he was telling a very specific story about very specific characters in a very specific area in that world.
Yes.
He's got a lot more, and I don't know how much you've been following, but Amazon is trying to do a series, and everything you hear from there, like, oh, okay, this isn't going to be, Lord of the Rings. This seems like they're going a different direction, and that's going to anger a lot of people.
Well, and I'd actually, after we watched Lord of the Rings, I'd inbox actually Andrew that I've seen in the chat because he's a big Lord of the Rings fan. And, I don't have I got a bad feeling about this as far as Amazon, because if the people in charge can't even get Star Wars right without forcing their agendas and ruining what made it great, if you can't get Lucas, there's no way you're going to understand Tolkien.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Right.
Well, and they're going to get rid of the whole underlying message that he was putting in. I mean, they hired intimacy consultants for the show. That's not that's not what Tolkien was writing about. It's not this teen drama. There was so much. It was bigger than that. Well, maybe if you count, Frodo and Sam there might have been a little intimacy.
They were very close that way.
They were good friends.
They had a stimulating friendship.
She's something.
I'm too much for Michelle.
But yeah, and again, guys, I think everyone in the chat knows me well enough to know what I was saying in that. As you pointed out, when I said it being an all-white cast, it was in Europe in the medieval times. Like, that's what would have been there. Like, there wasn't migration from anywhere at that point in time. It was just people where they were. And it's just like, but we've come to such this far extreme of inclusion that you can't even be realistic.
Yeah. Right.
And that's kind of bizarre.
Well, you know what really, really bugs me is those people that were saying orcs were representations of anyone that was black. Like, that thought is so... Oh, you haven't heard of this?
No.
Okay, this is... Boy, do I have something to tell you. This is... There have been many articles written about this where people were saying, Tolkien was racist, but because he made the orcs represent black people. And that is not the case. The fact that they had that thought shows that they are actually racist. The people thinking those things are racist.
Because I can say this, watching this as someone who knew nothing about Lord of the Rings, I never had that thought one time.
And I don't think most people do.
No.
99% don't.
The orcs are twisted elves that were, twisted to becoming evil. That's it. That's as far as it goes. It has nothing to do with race in any single way. It bugs me that was a narrative that was being pushed forward, and it's been pushed forward for years. Every couple years, it makes this big resurgence, and it's frustrating. The same thing happened with Dungeons and Dragons. They had to make changes because orcs had negative traits to them. Okay, well, orcs are big evil guys. They're not going to have that positive thing going about them, and in no way do they represent anything that they are trying to associate it with. They're just bad guys, like
Yeah.
evil monsters.
It's that simple, guys.
It's
like sometimes it's really simple.
Yeah.
And like keep it simple, stupid. Like that. That's
Yes.
how it is.
like there aren't many more layers to the onion.
No, you reached the center. You
Right
reached the
there.
center of that onion.
Yeah, it's just it really is. It's just all so bizarre, and it seems like with some new announcements, we've got some more kind of woke nonsense coming down the pipe. But I think for everyone in the chat that seems to not really love as most people don't, I would say 75% of the world doesn't like it. I mean, that's just kind of how it seems to be.
Well, have you ever tried to explain it to someone that doesn't know about this stuff? You look insane trying to describe what is going on. They're like, "What?" Like, okay, how do I tell you these things without looking like a madman right now?
I mean, for real.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we've drifted to.
It is, like you said, it's an alternate reality we're living in right now, it feels like.
Oh, yeah, no, simulation. 2012, the world ended, and some alien put us all in this simulation and started playing games with us. That's what happened. The Mayans were right. The world ended that day.
I mean, it's just nuts, and that's where I think we all, like everyone who's tired of this, it is time for us to vote with our wallets, and don't give them extra money for nonsense that you don't like or that you don't agree with. Like I would say with us, like say even with after the Gina Carano situation, like since we were weekly reviewing all the Marvel stuff, we didn't cancel the one subscription that we share between actually 3 households, but we did all personally cancel our Disney-owned Hulu accounts because we said they don't need any more of our money.
Yeah.
Like, so between our family, they lost between our brother and us, they lost like over $20 a month because of that decision.
I hope you told them in the comments too. I
Yeah.
hope you made that clear, because
Yeah.
I canceled my Disney Plus, and I made sure they knew that this type of attack I'm not going to support. You know, I was done with the Star Wars stuff after the Last Jedi, and I don't want to bring up the touchy subject because I know there's people that enjoy it.
Well,
I'm not one of them.
No, for starters, before you go into this, we always ask our guests, "Do you like the Last Jedi?" So that's a no.
Oh my God, no! It is.
Right.
Oh God, no! There is so much I despise about it. I watched it once. I will never watch it again. People have asked me to roast that, and it's a hard no. I am not touching that thing again because there's so much done with the structure and the characters. It is insulting on multiple levels, and I want nothing to do with it. It has something the sequels didn't seem to have, and that was it felt like Star Wars to me. The way it looked, the way the dialogue was written, it felt like Star Wars. You know, the practical effects were exceptional. They resonated on screen, and that started to bring me in. But now I'm done again. And when Luke was there, I was giddy as a kid again. I was like, oh my God, Luke is back. Yes, I'm so into this. But I'm done. I'm done after Gina. I want nothing to do with them, and that's sad to me. Like that makes me legitimately feel sad.
Yeah, no, I was truly,
and I would love them to make it right. Like I said on a video recently, there's still so many people that love Star Wars, and I don't think it's too late to turn it around, but you need to start acting now. Like, start getting things in order.
It's not too late to say sorry, guys, on the whole Gina situation. I'm just going to say that too.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it has, like, I literally, the day that she got fired, or they didn't renew her contract, I was truly, it took a few days even for what I felt to wear off. I'm still, it's dampened things even to this day. But it hit really, really hard. And I'm someone.
And when you're on Twitter, not only is it like it's bothering you, but then you have to see all these people celebrating, and the racist bitch is gone, and you're like, really? Like that's what you took from her post? Like, it's just hard to swallow sometimes.
And that was
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a horrible person.
Hey, I always say I'm a 13-year-old boy on the inside sometimes, so I get it.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like it really was. And I don't know how they didn't know that was not going to backfire and be a terrible move. And they had to know people were going to see that, okay, so you're upset with this comparison. Well, your other lead character of the show made like the same comparison just over, like, in fact, she actually does a warning of before all that happens. And he makes a legit comparison twice. Yeah. And it's fine. And it's just people see the hypocrisy and we're upset like we are. And it's kind of like that was what made us like, I literally, I even reached out to a person in the chat after I was really kind of thinking, should we make a video about Gina? But my emotions were so raw. I just don't even think I could at that moment. And finally, when we heard her side of the story, that's when I was like we both looked at each other. I think you said, I was thinking that too. Like it gave me something. I had time to like chill down just a little bit and truly be able to address it, because
to express our thoughts and come out of the closet, I guess, as the racist, transphobic, horrible people that we are.
I guess narcissists too.
Yeah, breeding narcissists. Add that to the list.
Yeah.
Well, the way that the media represented it too, I don't know that they either did not read anything that was posted, or they are being, willfully ignorant and misrepresenting on purpose what was said in order to cancel her just because they don't agree with some of her positions, which she never really voiced publicly. She's made a couple memes that, but she doesn't talk politics.
Yep.
Like she puts out some positive stuff and it seems to disagree with some of these things. Like that's as much information as they actually have.
What was so funny that she said in that interview, she said the things that I put out that were supposed to make people think made people the most angry, and that's like just so fitting of this society,
because you're not supposed to have critical thinking or nuanced thought. That's out. You're not supposed to do that for yourself.
Oh God, there's more articles. I'll try to keep that away, because there's articles that go into why critical thinking is bad right now, and it's so frustrating. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, without the articles, it's obvious that's how they think.
They send all the time.
Yeah.
And like you said, these writers that do these articles, whether it's about different political things or the Gina Carano situation, which I guess gets tied into political things, but they are so biased, and like their hate, it's like, what happened to journalism? Their hate is so on full display. And it's like with some of these people, I'm like, do you genuinely feel this way? Like, are you this not understanding what she meant? Or like, are you afraid of someone at the top that like, you have to write things this way? There's somewhere, it was the New York Times or something, there's a percentage of their employees that came out that said they're afraid to voice their actual opinions about things.
Well, that writer, that really good New York Times or ex-New York Times writer that Gina first, I guess, or reached out to Gina first, and we got our first statements after she was fired. She wrote a big, beautiful, it's great, you guys should check it out, like letter of why I quit, why I resigned from the New York Times. And she's not a conservative. Like, I think she's like kind of a classic liberal. And she just said it was obvious my views were not welcome. Like, I either had to write what they wanted me to write, or they didn't want like basically to truly do journalism at this point.
And it's just,
journalism's dead.
It's dead. And we're at a place in society, whether it's someone losing their job, and I'm not just talking about Gina Carano, I'm talking about people in real life, over your political affiliation or we're at a scary time of silencing and censorship.
Hey, it's kind of like Gina warned us about in that book.
It's kind of like that. Who knew?
Well, and here's the thing that makes it even worse. There were historical museums from that. I'm trying to avoid, the buzzwords for you. There's historical museums from that area of that time.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that said the exact same thing, like close to the same wording that she used. If they're saying that, there's some truth here. Like she didn't go off on this like weird tirade. She said something very nuanced that has been said previously by people who spend their lives dealing with it.
Well, and again, it truly actually, okay, you could say it's a comparison because it says, how is that any different? But it's actually like it was a warning. Like, this is what happened leading up to this tragic event. Let's not go down that path.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was. We
don't want that.
No.
And, when you see on Twitter, like, I've personally seen things like, let's put all the people that voted for, Orange Man bad on the Death Star and an image of it being blown up and stuff like that. It's just like, and I know I'm sure it's a joke, but it's just like, or let's ship them off to Australians like they did in America, the prisoners in the 1700s or whatever. Let's ship them all there. Or let's put them in concentration camps, or I've seen all this stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but it's like, it's craziness to me, like and that alone should point to the fact it's like she was giving us a warning. Like, people are being conditioned to like, oh, I don't even need to get to know you. You're that. So you're evil. You're bad. You're all these is and icks and everything.
Yeah. And that's where I think Gina, she gave us, and I'll give you the final word on this. We'll kind of close. But she gave us, I believe, like the way to move forward. And when she talked about her and Pedro, their relationship, and how they knew they disagree, but she just said that we decided to put our friendship and to see each other as humans first. And I just think that is such a great message for everyone, that regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, regardless of what race, gender, you are, like, see each other. That's what we're talking about. Good classic storytelling, that we see each other as humans and we connect on a human level again.
Well, and people have differences. Like there's a reason why there's a reason why people are basically split 50-50 on what side they fall into. Like, we need each other to balance out, because there are bad things at the extreme ends, and you need the other side. It's kind of like male and female. They complement each other in different ways, because there are some things with, being open, accepting new things, trying new, and also, being secure and, being proud of who you are. I'm trying to keep the examples, as vague as possible, but
I understand.
But like they complement each other, and they're required to work. But you don't have to agree. But the fact is, they're not going to go anywhere, because there is something innately biological about the way people look at things. It's not just the way, that you're raised, because you have kids that end up believing different things than their parents. There's something that's there to keep us in check.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope I made sense there.
Yeah, totally. No, we totally get what you're saying. So, guys, everyone in the chat, if you want to get something out of this conversation, it is that, one, rocks can't use the Force and shouldn't be a navigator. But secondly, that we have to begin to see each other as human beings and connect on that level, and don't allow the media to divide us of like into groups all the time. But
these two sides, and I'm saying people on both, don't villainize the other side.
Yeah. Like we've got to learn to live with one another. So we don't repeat the past, and some of the past is really bad. So that's kind of it. But Yeti, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute blast. And, I like that we were able to, have some laughs and also talk serious about things. It was there's a good dynamic. I had so much fun.
Those are my favorite.
And
laughs and a little deep. So.
I think our conversation just proved what we're talking about, how you can handle things that are more serious or weighty, and you can laugh. Like, it's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
It's okay to have fun. Like, it's not a crime to laugh anymore. I know that it seems they're making it that way, but it's not. Like, we can do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much. And Yeti, tell everyone in the chat where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me at Yeticast. There on YouTube. I also Yeticast on Twitter and Yeticast on Minds. I recently just put out my roast of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, so check that out because it took me like a month to work to write that thing, and I'm pretty proud. I also recently had one about Lord of the Rings, and I'm pretty proud of these last couple, so check those things out, and I'm deciding on what my next big roast will be. But yeah, subscribe to me on Yeticast.
Yeah, and I mean, guys, you're not going to be disappointed.
No.
Like the roasts are truly humorous. Like, definitely subscribe to him. I see Luke subscribe to you, and everyone. Luke is trying to get to 300 subs before his 30th birthday. So go subscribe to Any World But Ours.
He's just a fantastic guy, just a lovely person. The lovely is the word I think of when I think of Luke.
Yes, yeah. I see so many fantastic channels.
Yes.
Justin, there's Josh. Justin is Lost. So Mark Shabby Geek. There's so many fantastic channels.
And see who has a channel and subscribe to them, because you're gonna like all of them.
Yeah, everyone with the channel in the chat, just say subscribe to my channel.
We're okay with self-promotion.
We are, like, that's how you get known, really.
Yeah.
Is from everyone spreading the word. It's not like you have advertisements.
I know it's because we're breeding narcissists.
Oh, okay, that does remind me, because I always forget about the live stream things. On Monday, there's a live stream at 4 Pacific Standard Time called Rated as Lost Art. Very similar to this. We just talk about, Hollywood stuff. Tuesdays, there's the Comic Book Roundtable. That's at 5 Pacific Standard Time. Then... Oh, no, that might be a little bit later. I need to write all this down. And next Saturday, there's the Movies to Lose Friends By with Latino Slant. That's always at noon Pacific Standard Time on Saturdays. We're not doing it today because we were just a little too wiped out, and so we're pushing it back a week. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to put those things in too.
Yeah. So definitely check him out. Awesome channel. We'll have you laughing within the first few lines. In my case, a lot of the time. So check that out.
I think you can just tell by his voice. Like, some people just have a voice, like, that
they're funny.
They're gonna know how to roast. You got that good roasting voice.
Oh, I had to work on that because I changed my voice for the videos because I thought it made it better.
You do. You definitely do. Good. You do awesome. And we'll definitely have you on again. I know we're going to come roast some movies with you at some point. We're going to set that up. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Anytime. I'll come on anytime.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you to everyone. I think we got at one point one of the largest chats we've ever had.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for sticking with us and even jumping in. I know how that is from moment to moment on our chat. We appreciate you guys. And as always, remember to be a force of light. All right.
Have
bye,
a good day, guys.
Bye.